Alright. This is our small engine that we're going to be working on. They're fresh this year, so they're brand new. Hopefully they're in good shape when you guys get them. Mr. DiOrio and myself are going to take you through the steps of starting it and prepping it to run by adding some oil and some gas to it, and we're going to see if it starts. Mr. DiOrio, you want to go ahead and start filling it with some oil?
Mm-hmm. So there's two different spots, right?
Mm-hmm.
You could fill both on the left and the right, these yellow caps.
Yep, that's what I actually made it spin it.
We're going to put a half a quart of oil in. So this is a full quart of oil. You can see the line down on the side here. We can see when we're at halfway. So that's about what we're going to put in to get this started here.
This off for you too. So there's two ends. The manual actually says fill to capacity, which means fill until it pours out. A lot of transmissions are like this. I know Cadillacs like this. Some Volkswagens. Differentials are like this. And specifications are fill until it leaks out. So that's what we're going to try and do here.
Want to tilt this for me a little bit? Hold this up.
Now it's going to be slow because it's such a tough angle to try and pour it in. You want to take it nice and slow. And obviously our engine needs to be level to check and make sure we're at the right level. Just like if you're checking oil in a car, you can't be parked on a hill or in your driveway that's in an incline or a decline. You're not going to get an accurate reading.
A little more. And a little bit more. And one more little splash. That is about half.
Pretty close. Spillage over here. That's why we have our rag ready. We want to clean our mess because we don't want the next class to come in and deal with it.
Alright.
Caps back on. Also, what you guys see here is the tools that we're going to be using. Just to get them running, we're not going to be using the tools, obviously. But we have brand new sets. Every tool has a spot. So if one is missing and we check it in at the end of the hour, we're going to ask you where that tool is. We don't want to hear excuses like, it wasn't there when I got it, because they'll always be checked in at the end of the hour, and nobody leaves until all the tools are accounted for. Also, a great tool to have is a cell phone. Why? Because of that whole Google thing. And we could take pictures and document where all our parts go. Back and review, obviously, as we see fit.
Put a little gas in here.
Now we don't need much because we're just going to run it just for about 10 or 20 seconds. We want to hear that 4-stroke process.
We have to be careful here, Mr. Jerzyk, of the crankshaft, correct?
We do.
Sometimes they're not wrapped up like this, and there's nothing on there, and there's a key slot in here that's very sharp, and we don't want to cut ourselves on it.
We've already seen some accidents happen before. Another concern of ours is going to be the exhaust. Our exhaust manifold here is going to get extremely hot fast. So when it's done running, you have it turned off, you need to be careful where you lift the engine. This part right here is going to be hot. There's a little hand on there with some flames. You need to be careful of that.
So two major safety concerns when starting this engine for the first time here. I have the crankshaft, which is going to turn very, very fast. and if it catches your jean or your hand or hits anything, will hurt very bad. And then we have our hot exhaust muffler, which will burn you.
And that's one thing about machines. They don't care how much you scream and yell. They're just going to keep turning and turning and doing what they're supposed to do. They have no feelings. Okay. We're going to go ahead and try and start this. We're going to do it in the shop. Obviously, if we have a class of 20 or more students, we're not going to do it inside the school. We're going to do it right outside the shop doors. We don't want to be breathing in those vapors, especially myself or Mr. Diorio. We have to work here for another 100 years, so we don't want to die. When we go to start, there is an on-off switch or a kill switch. So we need to make sure that's in the up position. This lever here on the bottom is our fuel. So if I turn it all the way to one side, you can see there's an arrow which turns my fuel on and off. If my fuel isn't flowing, obviously my engine isn't going to run. This dial here is what's called a choke. We're going to learn about that a little bit later when we talk about fuel delivery systems. But we want to have this pushed over opposite of our fuel. And then last, up here is our throttle. This is kind of like your gas pedal in your car. Okay. Turtle means slow, rabbit means fast. I say just give it a little bit of throttle, and then we'll see if it starts.
So, Mr. Jerzyk, if this is turned off, you're telling me that I could pull this 150 million times and this engine will not start, correct?
Correct.
So, the gas needs to be on, the choke needs to be the opposite of the gas, and our throttle is going to be a little past the turtle. There's one more safety thing we need to talk about when starting the engine. Mr. Jerzyk, would you like to explain?
When we go to start, we want to pull it, our starter cable, until we feel some resistance. And right at this point, now I feel some good resistance. The reason we do that is, if it decides to backfire, the engine's going to kick, and it's going to back kick, and what's going to happen is it's going to break your fingers or it's going to break your wrist. You don't have the quickness to let go of it fast enough. So you need to bring the piston up to top dead center is actually what we're doing, and then we're ready to do a pull on it.
So, we have two people here, you and your partner. For this case, it's me and Mr. Jerzyk. I am going to hold the engine in place. We have everything set, right? Our gas is on. Our choke is all the way to the opposite of the gas, and our throttle is a little bit past the turtle. I'm going to hold the engine in place, being careful of the muffler and the crank right here. I do not want to get caught on that. And we are going to allow my partner to give us a nice pull and see if we could get the engine to start.